Test, test. 1, 2, test, test.
Listos. Ready, ladies? Let's go ahead and get this meeting started. I want to start with thanking everyone for showing up to the meeting. It's great to see a full house here in Yucca Heights Elementary. Thank you, everyone. Desert Trail. Mira. Okay, guys, can I go ahead and have a roll call, please, to get this meeting started?
Board President Lira,
Present.
Board Vice President Flores,
Present.
Board Secretary Rodriguez,
Present.
Board Member Guerrero,
Present.
Board Member Medrano.
Present.
Sir President, we have established quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Tarazona.
I will start with item 2A. We're going to welcome the principal here at Desert Trail Elementary and our assistant principal, Ms. Rivera and Mr. Mata. They will introduce the Pledge of Allegiance, mission statement, and the student performances this evening.
I'm sorry, let's try this again. Good afternoon, President Lira, Superintendent Tarazona, and members of the board. On behalf of Mr. Guerrero and our staff and our students, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Desert Trail Elementary. We are honored to host you this evening, and we would also like to extend a warm welcome to our directors and district leaders for joining us tonight. At this time, we would like to recognize Leon Calzada and Andrew Galvan, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the New Mexico Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. New Mexico flag salute. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico and the zeal symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you, gentlemen, for representing Desert Trail Elementary this evening. I would also like to begin by thanking Ms. Torres and our student council for welcoming our guests this evening and helping us start tonight with that special DTE hospitality. A big thank you. A special thank you also goes out to Ms. Torres and Ms. Roman for all their hard work in preparing and decorating our cafeteria. We appreciate the time and effort you put into making our campus beautiful and welcoming for our guests. Tonight we are especially excited to showcase some of our talented students. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Carla Devora and her folklorico group for tonight's performance. Thank you, Ms. Deborah, for all the work you did in preparing our students for this evening. At this time, we would like to recognize Mr. Julio Castillo and our honor recorder group. A big thank you to Mr. Castillo and our honor recorder choir. Muchas gracias a todos. And of course, we would like to take the time to thank all of our parents and families for allowing your children to participate this evening. We know that events like tonight require your time and support as well, and we truly appreciate you helping make these opportunities possible for our students. Muchas gracias a nuestros padres por todo su apoyo este día. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed your time at DTE. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rivera and Mr. Guerrero. We appreciate the performance. And now we have our student representative from Chaparral High School, Caleb Elisario. And Caleb is currently a senior at Chaparral High.
Good evening, Mr. President, Lira, members of the board, Superintendent Mrs. Tarazona, and guests. My name is Caleb Liserio, and I am the senior representative from Chaparral High School. To start, I want to highlight our outstanding AP exam results from this past spring. First, in AP World History, I want to congratulate Mr. Velarde and his students. 7 students passed, with 3 earning a score of 4, which is a new campus record. In AP Government, CHS earned its second ever score of a 5. In APLA, Language and Composition, congratulations to Mrs. Soltero and the 10 students who passed their exam. Finally, in AP Calculus, congratulations to Ms. Copley and students Alessandra Martinez, who earned a score of 4, Alessandro Martinez, making him the second student in CHS history to do so. Yesterday morning, we celebrated 20 outstanding students who successfully passed the A-Access test. Moving on to athletics, our fall sports are off to a great start. Boys soccer got back-to-back wins over Hatch Valley and Alamogordo. Volleyball had a great victory against Hatch, and football opened the season with a 27-14 win against Hatch Valley. Finally, next week is homecoming week at CHS. Here are the main highlights. Wednesday, September 2nd, we have the Lobo Trail from 4 to 7 p.m., followed by our annual bonfire. Thursday, September 3rd, our campus will have a pep rally at 1 p.m., and parent-teacher conferences are from 4 to 7 p.m. Friday, September 4th, the homecoming football game against Santa Teresa is at 7 p.m. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Caleb, for your report.
Testing, there it is. Thank you, Ms. Tarazona, and I do want to thank Ms. Rivera and Mr. Guerrero for this amazing performance and welcoming us with very good entertainment. Let's go ahead and move on. Before we move on, anybody from the public that wishes to speak in the public comment, if you guys do need to fill one of these forms with Ms. Mary Lou, and she'll go ahead and give you guys a form. Moving on to item 3, Superintendent District Updates and Recognitions. 3A, Parent Communication Remind, Social Media Analytics.
President Lira, Mr. Carmona will present this item. No report at this time? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And moving on to item B, Mr. Our student representative, is that he did that, right? Correct. So thank you, Caleb, for your participation. Amazing report. Moving on to board members' report. Board member Ms. Corina Medrano.
Okay. I don't think it's working. Now? No?
It's on. Test.
Testing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's been a very eventful start of the school year. I want to thank all the students that participated here today. The performance was wonderful, and you never cease to amaze us. I want to thank all the principals for Coffee with the Principals. I have been able to attend a few, and it's been very, very exciting. Also, Coffee with the Superintendent. And I had the pleasure of attending an equity meeting on Tuesday, and the ladies there were so involved, it was unbelievable. They want so many things for us to make them aware of, and I have never seen such an exciting group. So if you have a chance, look at your calendars and attend the equity meetings. I believe the next one will be at Santa Teresa, if I'm not mistaken. Well, check your calendars, but people there, parents get to voice their opinion, parents get to ask questions, and it's something that most of you parents are interested in. So just keep on and see what we can do to help you all out. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Medrano. Moving on to Board Member Ms. Priscilla Guerrero. Priscilla Guerrero. I'm changing.
Pues, President.
I'm in a different zone today.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming here today. I don't have too much to report. Just thank you to Ms. Rivera and to Mr. Guerrero for the hospitality for our students getting up there and doing that. I know that can't be easy. You all did amazing. And I hope we've all adjusted into the school year. Remember that we are here to support you all. Come out and, we have our emails posted. We have our phone numbers. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need something. We are your voice. That's what we're here for. So I welcome anybody who needs to be, heard. I'm here. I look forward to a very successful school year, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Guerrero. And now to our Board Secretary, Ms. Claudia Rodriguez.
Thank you. Good evening. First of all, thank you to the Student Council. It was beautiful the way they were greeting us. I think they looked so professional. Thank you, parents, for bringing them. That is how we grow. And as you can see, the student rep, it's always also nice to hear them express everything that is happening within their schools and being able to participate. And I think that it's beautiful that they're up here, and it's a little bit scary when you're over here, and they always do so well. So getting them started early, like this student council that was here, that's a great thing. And as for the Equity Council, as Ms. Medrano stated, the next one will be at Gadsden High School Community Center on Tuesday, September 29th. So please, parents, do participate in this. This is where you can get lots of information and be able to participate. And of course, like I always mention, the Coffee with the Principal and with the Superintendent. Coffee with the Principal is always going to give you information of what's happening within your campus, where your students go, your kiddos. And then Coffee with the Superintendent, it's a very good place where you can bring any concerns, and you get a lot of information as well. So parents, please do attend those. It's a way to keep informed, to be able to participate, and also to bring any questions that you might have. So those do take place at every month. So make sure that you look at the websites so that you know what is happening there. Also remember to use Parent Square. So that's a way to keep communication within the school. So if you don't have Parent Square, please make sure that you download that app so that you get all the information that's happening. And I did attend the 6-year study this past Tuesday? Monday, that's right, this past Monday. And this is something that Gadsden is participating in. And it's always nice to hear the good things that are happening and what we can do to make things better for our students. And so I'm proud to say that Gadsden has very good numbers, and it's a great team that is working to do this, right? And so it was Ms. Medrano and myself attended this meeting along with the directors and of course, Superintendent Tarazona. And so that report, that continues. That's something that is ongoing. And as it is, we are starting our 4th year of this study. So it's only helping us grow even more. And thank you again for everyone that's here participating.
Ms. Rodriguez, thank you. Let's move on to our Board Vice President, Ms. Laura Salazar Flores.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us in person. Muchas gracias por todos los que están aquí acompañando esta tarde en Desert Trail. Esta escuela tiene un especial lugar en mi corazón porque hace muchos años, en diciembre del 2000, fui maestra aquí por la primera vez a Desert Trail Elementary en el tercer grado. Y otra cosa que no les he compartido, cuando me casé, mi recepción fue aquí en la cafetería. Muchos se ríen de mí, pero that's how much I love public education. I even had my reception here at Desert Trail, and it was cheap. It was like $300 back then. So what a deal, what a steal, huh? So yes, it's got a special place in my heart. I also want to thank Principal Erica Rivera and Christian Guerrero, our assistant principal, for your hospitality. Thank you for the food. I did have a taste of the enchilada. It was delicious. This is a reminder to our communities that our district did extend the survey, the Gadsden Escucha survey, la encuesta de Gadsden, Escucha Gadsden, se extendió para mañana, viernes 28. I would encourage all parents, even employees, students, we need your voice too, please. Okay, so those of you who are, I'm seeing right there, students, make sure that you fill out the survey so that we know what you all want from the district. Our new superintendent wants to hear you, so please, it expires tomorrow evening, so make sure that you fill that out. And then I'd also like to encourage all the district, especially the community of Chaparral, to go out and support our fall sports. And congratulations to our Chaparral High School soccer team. I wasn't able, my plans, I thought Ms. Rodriguez, I planned on going. And that evening, I got home at 6, and I told my husband, let me take a little nap. I was tired, guys. I wake up, my eyes open. It's 1 in the morning. I'm like, dang, I missed it. So I promise I'll go the next game. Okay, but congratulations to our football team. I need to make it to the soccer games. But they beat Hatch, and so did our football team. They beat Hatch also in their first game. And then I heard that it was a draw against Oregon Mountain High School. It was 1-1. But yes, go on out and support all the, volleyball. What else is going on? Country, soccer. I don't know, country, cross country maybe. I'm not sure. Basketball till the fall. Well, coming up in September, October. What else? For those of you who, let me see. Just a reminder, and that's probably why I don't see the administration from Chaparral Middle School. They're probably at Peter Piper Pizza. So when the meeting ends, folks, be sure you head out to Peter Piper Pizza. They're going to be doing fundraising for the band, and it concludes at 9 p.m. So make sure you go get some pizza. That way you don't have to make dinner, right? And then an announcement for our Chaparral folks too is, and you can follow me on Facebook. I usually just put, just sharing whatever, what's happening in our community. But there's also an opportunity on Saturday to get our pets vaccinated. And then also, you can turn in your old tires from your cars without having to pay at Betty McKnight Center. So make sure if you have that opportunity, Chaparral folks, go do that. And then I'll conclude by inviting you all for our September 10th, our next board meeting. Those begin at 5 p.m., but that same day at 4 p.m. will be our budget committee, so I invite the public to join us. Your voice matters, so that we spend responsibly and we listen to your needs. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Flores. As for myself, I want to thank Ms. Rivera as well and Mr. Guerrero. Whenever we come to a school, I remember a conversation that I had with Mr. Carmona a while back, and he was able to put it in perspective how much work it goes for you guys to host us here. So I know it's been long days, and I want to thank you guys for that. It was amazing, and yes, the entrance with the little kids is always makes us feel like superstars. So thank you for that. Amazing presentations as well. I want to go ahead and get ready, get my board ready, because we're going to have a long weekend. We're going to have a workshop in Ruidoso. So we're going to go ahead and make it as productive as possible to go ahead and make sure that we implement the best progress for the district. Y a todos los papás que están aquí, me da muchísimo gusto ver la casa llena. Involúcrense en la escuela, participen. Cualquier pregunta, como dijo la señorita Guerrero, pregunten y todos tenemos una póliza de la puerta abierta. Entonces, si tienen cualquier duda o sugerencia, pues siempre nos pueden mandar un correo o un mensaje y vamos a estar disponibles para lo que los podamos asistir. Muchísimas gracias. That's it for me. Thank you. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to item 5, Equity Council Report.
President Lira, Doctora Valenzuela will present this item.
Good evening. Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah. Good evening, Board President Mr. Lira, members of the board, and Superintendent Ms. Tarazona. We held our first meeting on August 25th at North Valley Community Center. The first topic was why Gadsden ISD operates as a community district. ¿Por qué Gadsden opera como un distrito comunitario? By Rosy Villalobos. Our next Equity Council meeting will be in Gadsden High School Community Center on Tuesday, September 29 at 9:30. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Doctora Valenzuela.
Thank you, Ms. Valenzuela. Moving on to item 6, Superintendent Report on Community Outreach, including to underrepresented and non-English speaking families.
President Lira, Ms. Villalobos will present this item.
Good afternoon, President Lira, members of the board, Superintendent Tarazona. We're very happy to give the first report a little summary of what has been happening since the summer to now with the parental involvement. And for that, we have our coordinator for parental involvement in the district, Ms. Genevieve Melendez.
Good evening, President Lira, members of the board, Superintendent Tarazona. I shared about a month ago about the distributions that we had over the summer. If we can go to the next slide. So what I did here was I gave you guys a breakdown of June, July, and August. This does not include all of August. We just had a distribution last week. And not including those distributions that we had last week, we were able to give out 900 resources. So that was over 12 distributions. Now, again, I broke it up by food, clothing, backpacks, school supplies, all of that. The one thing that I always want to bring attention to is that other category. So the last couple of distributions, we had people that reached out that needed walkers, wheelchairs, baby supplies, and we were able to provide all that stuff. So if you take a step back and you really look at that, that is a huge barrier that we've been able to take away from our families and have them truly be able to focus on coming back and getting their kids in a routine. Can you move on to the next slide, please? So some of you have not been able to attend those distributions, so I wanted you guys to see how we set them up. It's not just us putting a bunch of clothing out there and letting them rummage through the piles. We set it up like a market. We want to give them that dignity. We set up a household section, we have furniture, we have clothing, so they're able to come in and really shop and actually go through and get the stuff that they really need, So it kind of gives them a whole experience. Can we move on to that next slide, please? So I'm really excited to share some of the new classes that we're bringing. You know that we have positive parenting, we've had financial literacy, but this year we want to take it a step further. So we're listening to what our community is asking for. So that first slide, our parents are asking for arts and crafts. They want to get their hands, on some resources. So we're going to bring a metal jewelry class, and it's going to be something for any age, okay? But it's not just going to be them being able to make jewelry. We're going to pair that with our financial literacy and teach them a skill that maybe they can end up opening their own business, maybe doing something on Etsy, something for them to actually build and start bringing in some revenue for their families. We did talk about Senior Planet, where we're teaching computer skills primarily to our older community, but for anybody. If you're not very savvy with computers and whatnot, we have those classes to teach you. But we're also going to be pairing that up with our synergy. So right now, everyone is going through a transition. Everybody is kind of weary. What do I do? How do I navigate this? It's something new. So by teaming up with Senior Planet, Mamacitas Cibernéticas, we're funneling it in from all over the place, not just our students, our older community, our parents, everybody, so that they can really feel like we're supporting them. You guys all, I gave you guys a little pamphlet. This is a new class. All of my team is now certified for PACS tools, and what it is, it's evidence-based behavioral strategies. So it helps parents, it gives them the tools to help their children start building a routine. It also teaches them how to start self-regulating. We're seeing, and I know you guys are aware of it, we're seeing a lot of spikes in anxiety, and those behaviors, they start transitioning into the classroom and school. So by us giving those tools to the parents, we're kind of trying to, hey, let's calm everything down. Let's teach our kids and our parents, even us as adults, we need to learn how to regulate and to keep that anxiety at bay. So that's a new certification that my entire team, as well as Ms. Alma Forti and Ms. Mary Lou, excuse me, we're all certified in it. We got certified at the end of last school year. So, and then that final slide. I come up here a lot of the times and I get to present all of the great things that we're doing, but I want you guys to put a face to it. Those 6 people, my team, move mountains. They work tirelessly. They don't clock out at a certain time. They are always on call. And they are the true embodiment of Maslow before Bloom. I know that it doesn't matter what time I call or what I ask them for, they're gonna come through. So I want you guys to start recognizing those faces, because that's another resource for you guys. And I welcome you guys all to please come visit the center. I would love for you guys to see it. If there's something that you guys are hearing from the community, please let me know. I really, truly want to make sure that we are providing everything we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Melendez.
Thank you. Moving on to item 7, Union President Report to Board.
President Lira, Ms. Nanez did notify me that there would be no report in this meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Tarazona. Moving on to item 8, Human Resource Report. This is for public information only. Moving on to item 9, a modification of the agenda. Do we have any modifications to the agenda? As I see none, do I have a motion to accept the agenda as is?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the agenda as is.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carry. Testing. Motion carries for item 9. Moving on to item 10, regular school board minutes for August 13, 2026. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes for August 13?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to item 11, the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I so move.
I do have a motion by Ms. Medrano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And moving on to item 12, open forum. Mary Lou, do we have anybody that wants to?
Sir President, we have none.
None? Thank you. Moving on to item 13, the action items. Moving on to action item, the consideration and approval of a resolution determining the necessity for lease purchase of education technology equipment.
President Lira, our Chief Academic Officer, Ms. Martinez, will present this item.
Good afternoon, Madam Tarazona, President Lira, members of the board. For this presentation, we have Eric Harrigan online. Mr. Harrigan, can you hear us okay?
I can. Thank you very much. Good evening, President, members of the board. Eric Harrigan with RBC Capital Markets. So this is the first step in the issuance of the education technology note process. The funds for these notes have been accumulated in the district's debt service fund through property tax revenues. This will be a one-day note sold to the state treasurer's office. The form of this resolution is consistent with all of the resolutions that the district has approved in the past for the issuance of education technology notes. We will be back at your September board meeting with final approval of the notes, and I stand for any questions.
Questions? Comments? No. As I don't see any comments, I would like to go ahead and make a motion to approve item A, the consideration and approval of a resolution determining the necessity for lease purchase of education. Do I have a second?
Second. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to item B, second meeting review of the proposed revisions to board policy CBI, evaluation of the superintendent, and approve the proposed revisions.
Go ahead. President Lira, can we open that document? So these are the proposed changes from the last meeting to add to the language to the new policy. I'm not sure if anybody has any questions.
These are the changes from the last meeting for the ones that we had discussed. Okay, no, I mean, if that includes the last changes, I mean, I would like to go ahead and make a motion to approve item B, if nobody else has any questions.
I so move.
Okay, I do have a motion by Ms. Corina Medrano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to item C, Policy Advisory 276, JICJ, use of cell phones and electronic devices in school, second reading.
President Lira, Ms. Hernandez, our Chief Academic Officer, will present alternative 1.
President Lira, members of the board, and Superintendent Tarazona, I come before you to take action on one of the 2 alternative selections that we had for discussion last board meeting regarding the new policy that will be established for the use of cell phones. Just a little recap, if you recall, alternative 1 allowed the school principals to determine the compliance of the board policy regarding our cell phones with permission from the superintendent. Alternative 2 was the one where the board strictly prohibits the use of wireless communication, and any use of any type of electronic device would need to be approved through the superintendent for each class and every classroom and every campus. So I stand for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. Questions or comments regarding this? We had last time we had spoken that we've been implementing alternative 1 for a while, correct?
Yes,
And
President Lira, that has been the standing piece so far. And if you recall, we also discussed that this had been a discussion item back in August. We just never took it to action. I was not who presented it at that time, and the board had kind of discussed that they liked alternative 1, and we were going to bring it back to action. So I stand before you, and in the end, it's your decision.
And this is what administration and principals are inclining more to it?
Yes.
For them to have the decision?
Yes. Just because of all of the digital access we have in the classrooms and in our resources, we'd like to be able to allow the principals to do that, of course, through whatever the district and superintendent decides.
And it was talked about since October 2025, and the board had recommended policy 1, President Lira.
Thank you. Questions? No. Do I have a motion to approve item 13C?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Hernandez. And now we're at 13D, Policy Advisory 278, JLF, Report Child Abuse, Child Protection, second reading.
President Lira, Associate Superintendent Villalobos will present this item.
President Lira, members of the board, Superintendent Tarazona, the recommendation for us to adopt the newest things on the new directives from New Mexico on what we need to do to report child abuse and neglect. And we as a district, we are already doing all the things to implement all this. That's the way it is. And we just really need to update ourselves on what needs to be done. That's my recommendation, that we really change it. We don't want to continue on 14, 15 year.
Thank you, Ms. Villalobos.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
What is it, the 13D, right? Do I have a motion to approve 13D, the Policy Advisory 278?
So moved.
I do have a motion by Ms. Rodriguez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And moving on to our last action item, item 13E, resolution authorizing superintendent to submit a letter of support to the New Mexico Department of Finance and admission for the proposed new early college high school.
President Lira, Associate Superintendent Cadena will present this item.
Good evening, President Lira, board members, Superintendent Tarazona. A little bit of background. As you all know, there is legislative appropriations that are distributed yearly. And what happened is the state and the Department of Finance has formalized that process so that you no longer go to your legislators and say, hey, Gadsden wants this. Can you put it on your list? They have an actual program online that you need to apply for. We understand, as the Executive Cabinet and Ms. Tarazona, that the board has not decided yet what to do, whether to move the early college to Loma Linda, we'll bring that back to you, or to build a new early college. What we thought we'd do with this process, because it's for the 2028-2032 funding plan of 5 years through the state, is ask for funding that would help the district either build it or reconstruct it. And as you know, we can still apply for PSFA funds. That the appropriations no longer count against us with our share. But if we were to be able to get some appropriations to help the district in whatever the board decides to do, we did hear from students, parents, teachers that one thing that they did make clear is that they want a new location. We all know that. So we thought we'd put it on the list and try our best. I have entered all the information. I cannot submit it until Ms. Tarazona is given the approval to give us a letter of support. And the application is due tomorrow. What I have done is, and you can go back and change the scope and the budget until November, even though you submit it tomorrow. I'm sorry, flies flying in my mouth. If the board decides that whatever option they want to do, new building, reconstruction, whatever decides, we have an application in there that maybe gives us a chance to get additional funding, and that helps with our share. Right now, an architect gave me a price for a brand new brick and mortar building, 80,000 square feet for 300 students, that mimics the Arrowhead Center. It's about $49 million, okay? So just think, let's say 50 million. Usually PSFA pays 70 and we pay 30. Okay, so that would be 15 million out of our pockets, out of the district's pockets. If we can subsidize that with appropriation money, we thought that would be a good idea. And that's all this is it's not committing us to a specific kind of project. It's only the application for the appropriation funding. I stand for questions.
Ms. Cadena, thank you for submitting this. I do know that thank you for looking and going above and beyond. This is a Hail Mary, but those who don't ask don't get anything. And I'm a beggar. I like to beg everything. As much as people want to give us for the district, I'll take it. Right. So if we get something, that would be amazing. So we have to ask. Questions?
I have a question, President Lira. So you said additional funding. Now you stated that not necessarily does it have to be utilized, or whatever is on the application, that's how, if that money is given, that it has to be utilized just how the application states, or could it be used in a different manner?
Now, the project title, it says you can change the scope, but the project title itself, which is Early College High School, cannot be changed. But you can change the scope, for instance, or you can not accept the funding as well. But you can change the scope. I entered it as a brand new building, but we can change the scope to a renovation as well. So
then that means that it could be utilized just to remodel. If there's a building that we have for Alta Vista, then can be used that way. Not necessarily does it have to be a brand new building, but it can be used for that remodeling.
Yes, ma'am.
And then also you mentioned that if it's decided it can be denied, like not accept the funding. Now, how would that affect? Should we get to that point where we do receive it and we find out that what we are currently dealing with, does not meet that us being able to accept it? Does it affect any?
I'm not sure, Ms. Rodriguez. What I do know is that, there are several projects that can be canceled. You can cancel a project for some reason, like the district's needs changed, right? You can also decide that you didn't have the share, like the balance. Let's say if we asked for 15 million and they said, we'll give you $1 million. The district can decide, well, that's not enough, and we're going to put that on the back burner and do what we can with the funding we do have. You can always do that. This is for 2028, starting in 2028, so we still have time to, as a district and the board, to plan what it is exactly we want to do as far as an early college. And then that gives us time to also apply for PSFA funding as well and see where that goes.
Okay, so then that application is basically every 5 years? Is
Yes.
that when you can submit
That's
to
the
get
plan.
the funding for the appropriations?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I want to thank Ms. Carena for being proactive. I don't think in the history of Gadsden have we ever had an appropriation, and I think President Lira is correct when he states it's a Hail Mary, so you never know. I know that's how Arrowhead got their building, so you never know. It could be our turn.
So with that being said, the appropriations, you mentioned that before we had to go through our legislators, right? So is it currently, when was this effective that you can apply instead of having to go through the legislators?
I believe they just started it this year.
Okay.
Yes, Ms.
So that's-
Tarazona received, I think, notice from a specific senator or legislator and said, please take advantage. This is the new way you apply for appropriations.
So this is brand new?
Yeah, the email came to me, and then I shared it with Ms. Cadena, and we decided as an executive team to apply it because, we could use the extra money to make a building. If we were to get the money, we know the odds are not very high, but there is an odd that you could get the money. So, this would provide us extra funding to utilize to do a new build or to expand on our current build.
Right. One of the things that I do worry about is because there's always those caveats, right? And sometimes those when they bill those appropriations or any bill, sometimes the lingo is not quite understood. And I know that we did have that as history before, that it was allotted for a certain thing and then it wasn't done or utilized the way that the legislator wanted. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. It's definitely a great thing, and if we get the money, that's wonderful. I just don't know, I feel like I don't have enough information to understand this, and especially since it's something very new, that how is it gonna work? It sounds brilliant and it sounds very exciting, but at the same time, I'm a little bit afraid that we're gonna go into it and then at the end find out that no, these are the other things, like I said, certain caveats that we have to meet prior to accepting this money. So I just would like more information about this. I don't know. At this point, I know you mentioned that the application is due tomorrow, so I don't know that I feel comfortable, just because it's brand new. It's something that, yes, I understand it's just an application and we can deny it or accept it should we receive it, which would be wonderful. And Yes, I just feel like, do we have all that information? And personally, I don't feel like.
Sure, I understand. And I don't know if this makes you feel better. And I think, I can tell you that I think that that's the reason they formalized this process this way, to make it fair and so that there are no caveats. The only caveats we used to have in the past was that if you received appropriations for construction or maintenance, then that would affect your match with the PSFA. So let's say our match is 30%, they would penalize you if you used appropriations. That's no longer the case. That is no longer the case. But I think this process, I'm not going to say it's a simple application because there's lots of parts to it, but in no way you're just stating the scope of the project, the budget, what years you plan to spend the money. Do you have any appropriated funds already? And I put in there that we have bond funds available for some of it, and then the rest PSFA and hopefully some appropriations. And that's basically it. But I think that's why they formalized the process, is that it's no longer, it's more fair. And we are competing with many agencies, including tribal agencies, state agencies. So as Ms. Tarazona pointed out, we're wishing for the pie in the sky, and we'll see what happens.
No, I thank you for that, because it seems that there's more transparency on the way that it's being done and taken care of, right? And I think that, if you looked at all of that and see that it doesn't affect, really. I mean, there's really nothing that will affect our district if that application is submitted, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
You will not be penalized for submitting the application, and like I said, we can always change the scope. We can pare it down. We can also, if they do offer us money, we can refuse it. I mean, we have that right.
And the most important thing, Secretary Rodriguez, the PSFA match stays the same. So the 70-30, I believe that maybe in the past, I don't know, certain school districts or certain areas were given priority. So now you really have to submit your application, show your need to make it, because before that, they couldn't tell you how one school got chosen over another school in Ruidoso or in Hagerty, New Mexico, or in Dexter. So now at least there's a process. So there is that application to go through instead of them just picking random projects.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
thank you for that, Ms. Cadena.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Cadena, just being a little bit optimistic, I mean, I hope that we have a resolution for Alta Vista way before 2028. We have like at least a roadmap. And is that where the change of appropriation comes? Because we say, you know what, we commit to Gadsden. We're gonna combine them, and then now we get the funding, and we had appropriated money to
Yes, sir.
to the upgrades of the building,
Right.
but now we're gonna go ahead and expect that money. At that point, it's fair to say, hey, we're stopping this because we're gonna get this. Is that, or how would that work?
I think our thought process is with the superintendent and the executive cabinet, we have until November to amend this ICIP. So our thoughts were, we bring the board back the decision about Alta Vista, Loma Linda beforehand, and then that way we have a definitive scope of what it is the board wants to do.
Thank you. That's
You're
it.
welcome.
I just want to add on that. I think that was my biggest concern. I immediately contacted Superintendent Tarazona just because I was wondering about that, right? We have so much that still is pending. And so I thought, wait, we're already starting something different or something new when we still haven't even completed the rest. But since I wasn't aware of those, that extension, or not extension, but that there's still time. So I think that we do need to definitely get moving with those other things. And I know that Superintendent Tarazona did mention, that that's in process, and we will get some more information so that we can make a decision on that. So again, submitting is not going to hurt anything because we have plenty of time to be able to analyze everything that is happening currently, or what decision we need to make on those
Yes, ma'am.
areas.
Yes.
So, yes.
And I believe we're just waiting for a work session date for that. We were going to have Ms. Cadena come back. Some of the requests were to present every option for Loma Linda, for the pre-K, and for Alta Vista. So as soon as the board can come up with a work day, another session, because this will be another session that we would need to add to our schedule, then Ms. Cadena will be ready to present. As you know, she just finished GMS this summer. That was a little overwhelming until, I believe, last week. We just got the Fine Arts
Yes.
building opened.
Yes.
So she was knocking that out, and now we're ready to come back and bring that back to you guys.
Thank you. So do you have a question? One question by Ms. Flores.
Hi. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to fill out this application. It was probably a whole lot that you did, so thank you so much.
You're
and thank you for allowing us to dream big, and hey, we don't lose anything by having hope. So
Right.
thank
I
you.
agree. Thank you.
My question is, in looking at the letter that's written, is there a reason why, like on paragraph 2, we don't actually name second sentence where it says, this ICP represents the need for a new state-of-the-art early college high school that would replace the obsolete, how come we didn't put Alta Vista Early College? Like, why aren't we not naming it?
We could, and I suppose we should. Yes, ma'am.
Just because, like,
yeah.
when I first saw it on the agenda, I'm like, there could be the misinterpretation, the way it's written, oh, we're gonna open up like a whole new campus, but if we can name it, I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
But thank you.
We can do that.
And that letter will go to me, Vice President Flores, so we can make sure that edit is done, and that was on paragraph 2, correct?
Correct. Where it says to replace the early college, you would name Alta Vista.
Yes, I would recommend putting, would replace the present and aging obsolete Alta Vista Early College High School facility. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cadenas. Do I have a motion to approve item E, the resolution authorizing superintendent to submit a letter of support to the NM Department of Finance and Administration for the proposed new early college high school?
So move.
I do have a motion by Ms. Guerrero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to for item 14, discussion items. Discussion item A, district attendance.
So President Lira, as our last meeting, the board asked for other kinds of data that we could share with the board, not just academic data, but maybe data relating to attendance, some of our programs, social emotional learning. Today we have great news on attendance data, so we thought we'd take this opportunity to highlight all the work that Ms. Rosie and Ms. Cumplido are doing with attendance, not only in the district but statewide. So thank you, Ms. Villalobos and Ms. Cumplido, for presenting this data to us.
President Lira, members of the board, Superintendent Tarazona, just a little thing with this data that we're going to be showing you is very important, our chronic absenteeism. And as you know, #1 issue in all this public school, in all the schools in this nation, unfortunately. But we're working very hard. We're trying to do as much as we can, and I just want to say thank you to Ms. Cumplido. She has been leading us, doing an amazing job, working very closely to the coordinator of attendance in the state, and she has also been providing support to neighborhood districts. Because we have been done a lot of initiatives, like the electronic referral is an initiative from Gadsden, and now it's going to be implemented at the state level. So there are different things that have been done because of the district, and in numbers we wanted to see 0. That's not happening, but we are really improving on the data, and there's data that the state still is kind of like working on the last results from the last year. It takes months to put all the data together. So we're going to show you what we have, like a summary from the last year, so that you can see how this has been evolving. And Ms. Cumplido, thank you so much for all you do.
Good evening, President Lira, members of the board, Superintendent Tarazona. I would like to begin by sharing our end of the year. Right now, you can see that we have our end of our year chronic absenteeism from 2023 all the way to 2026. We saw the most improvement in 2024, and then we continue to decrease. And this data also includes our pre-K centers. I do want to share that it's still a work in progress. We're still continuing to provide support for administrators through the attendance improvement plan. We're also working with different departments, and we know that we still have work to do, but it's important to celebrate our small milestones. Also, something that I wanted to share is that our attendance rate as of today is 97.06%. and our enrollment is at 11,094. I stand for questions.
Questions or comments?
President Lita, I just want to take the time because I did have the opportunity to talk to you in the hospitality area there in the library. So it's awesome to hear that you are going to provide what sounds like work sessions to our principals for their attendance plans. So that's awesome that they're not just on their own. So thank you so much, Mel. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Flores.
Thank you so much, Ms.
Thank
Cupido.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Tarazona.
Thank you. And discussion item B, updates on Special Education Advisory Committee.
This was also another request. We want to provide an update to the board on the Special Education Advisory Committee. We will have our special education team present this, Ms. Soriano, Ms. Barraza, and Doctora Valenzuela.
Hello. Okay. Good evening, Board President Mr. Lira, members of the board, and Superintendent Ms. Tarazona. I'm Luz Valenzuela. I'm a SPED director for the area of Chaparral.
Lorraine Serrano, servicing the feeder pattern of Gadsden.
Maria Barraza, servicing the feeder pattern for Santa Teresa.
We are here. I'm too tall. We're here to present the Special Education Advisory Committee. So the first slide is purpose and vision. So our purpose is to strengthen collaboration among families, educators, and stakeholders for students with disabilities. Our vision is to promote equitable, inclusive services with families as essential partners. Our scope is advisory capacity only, so does not replace IEP decisions, IEP authority, or district decision-making, or state regulation, or idea of four. Our strategic goals is strengthening family engagement, improving inclusion, and boosting students' outcomes. Engage families, create meaningful feedback loops, improve practices, enhance instruction and inclusion, identify needs, recommend solutions for systematic barriers, insurance compliance, uphold IDEA and New Mexico standards, promote awareness, requirements of IDEA and New Mexico policies and regulations, and boost outcomes, target academic and social emotional growth. So like recommend strategies, support academic achievement, communication, behavior, social, emotional, and functional skills. Next slide, please.
For team representation, we plan to have 50% representation of parents. That'll be 10 or more parents. And then GISD team and staff, which would include all 3 directors, plus representation from school principals, coordinators, teachers, diagnosticians, and school psychologists. Our core focus areas, we're trying to move from strategic data-driven review to practical action steps. Phase 1 would be analysis, our strategic review. We're gonna analyze our data, review data, and analyze whatever we have currently as SPED trends and programs. And barrier mitigation, we're gonna improve access and communication. Phase 2 for execution, it'll be practical action. For growth, we're assessing professional learning and inclusive practices. Actionable advice, formulate recommendations for the SPED department.
Board President Lira, members of the board, and Superintendent Tarazona, I will briefly share our proposed meeting dates and structure of our Special Education Advisory Committee. As we begin, we will start off having our first meeting in September in the GAC boardroom. In December, we will tally up to Chaparral. March, we will have Gadsden High School, and May, we will be at Santa Teresa High School. The advisory committee will meet quarterly at 9:30 a.m., rotating among these different sites. As we begin forming the advisory committee, we will use a Google form through Parent Square and our website to invite parents and stakeholders to express their interest in participating within the committee. Each meeting will include special education updates, policies and procedures, any GISD spotlight, family and stakeholder feedback, and the discussion of recommendations and action steps. When concerns or recommendations are brought forward to us, we will work to identify the concerns, look at supporting data, discuss possible solutions, and determine appropriate next steps and timelines. We will assure that the advisory committee will not make any decisions, as Dr. Valenzuela stated, regarding any individual student placement, eligibility, staffing, discipline, or IEPs. Those decisions will continue to follow the appropriate district procedures. At each meeting, we will review progress on previous recommendation and action items. At the end of the school year, we will complete an annual review to identify accomplishments, continued needs, and priorities for the following year. Ultimately, our goal is to strengthen communication, build trust, and ensure that the voices of our families and stakeholders are heard and are part of a continuous improvement plan here at Gadsden. Thank you. We stand for any questions.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
Just a comment. Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Ms. Guerrero.
President Lira, just a quick question. So we did say it was going to be about 10 or more parents. How are we going to have those parents selected? What if we have an overflow of engaged parents that want to enroll or want to participate?
Okay, we create a Google form. That's a Google form, like parent's name, student name, no. Where is the school? The school, personal information, what the services the students receive, why are you interested in serving the SPED advisory team, and what special education topic are the most important for you, for your family. So we want to have a representation of the 3 areas. So if we have 15 or 20 parents, so we were thinking 6 Santa Teresa, 6 parents Gadsden, 6 parents Chaparral. Also, we were thinking, okay, elementary, we want high school, we want middle school. So we want different mix of schools and areas, so not just having parents for elementary, so we want to have high school, middle school parents, pre-K parents.
So Dr. Valenzuela, just to reiterate, so there's not a cap of 10. That's just what you're hoping for. But if you had 15 to 20 applications,
yes, maximum 20.
You would still, like, I know that's how we started with Equity Council, maybe 4 or 5. And as you saw, Tuesday, there's about 20 now. So
yes.
You would, there's not a closed door. I think that might be where we're getting to, correct?
Yes, and we want to use the community centers. We don't have dates yet, but the community centers are the best area for the parents. That's the community, that's the centers. So as soon as we have the application out, so we want to do it next Monday. It's ready, but Mr. Carmona will help us with posting in the website.
Yeah, with the advertising.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Valenzuela.
Thank you.
President Lira.
Yes, Ms. Flores.
My question to you ladies is, will the Google form be bilingual in Spanish and English? It's not going to be separate forms, correct? It's going to be one form, English and Spanish, within both. Okay. And then I appreciate that there's going to be an equitable representation. Thank you for considering the regions and also the school level. My other question is, when will, what time of the day will you be having these meetings? And just because I'm advocating also, there are working parents that might want to be involved. And so, will is it going to be, I don't know, just something to think about, because there's working parents and then there's those who are at home. So that's going to be the challenge, because there's parents who will want to volunteer during the day because the kids are at school. But what about the working parents that can't leave work, So just food for thought. And I think that's it for right now.
Thank you, Ms. Flores. Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you. So on that asking about the time. I think that is very important. Perhaps, I don't know if it's included on your Google, what's it called? Form, your Google form, because it is, I know it's difficult and many times you do want to participate, right? But because either you're working, and I know I can express that as a personal thing, right? Like with the equity, it's always in the morning, and so it's very difficult because most of us, well, there's a lot of us that are working during that time. So considering that, and I think that it's important for parents to know that in order to see change, we need to participate. So I encourage everyone that is interested to express that interest by filling out this Google form so that there's participation, because that's the way we can get that information, right? You all in this department are gonna work towards those goals. And I love the way you have already like a plan and a whole format of what it's gonna look, right? It's not just, we're gonna have a meeting, but you're already looking forward to, okay, well, the changes at the end, we're going to be able to see all of those things that were perhaps accomplished and those that weren't, and so what is it that we need to do? So please, parents, please be part of this committee so that you can see those efforts being part of this and making those changes.
And if I may add, Secretary Rodriguez, so maybe we do want to ask parents for their advice on the time. I know for their first 2 or 3 years, Ms. Flores, Equity Council was in the afternoon at the GAC, and we changed it to the morning because the parents in that particular Equity Council wanted it in the morning. So maybe it is an option just to ask what time are you available in that form so we can get a better time frame of what time they can participate.
Thank you. Moving on to Ms. Corina Medrano.
I don't have a question, but I do have a compliment. I have several SPED IAs have reached out to me, and they are very happy with the changes that have taken place. You know, they're the ones in the trenches, and now they feel valued, and they want me to let you know that they really, really appreciate that. And some of the parents that I have spoken to are very happy with the quick response that you ladies have been able to give to them. So thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And Ms. Flores.
Okay, so my question is, why are we not including a student voice? I mean, I'm just curious, I don't know. Does that make sense what I'm asking? I know this is a parent thing, but why not students too?
So I believe, Vice President Flores, we're following the parent advisory protocol from the NMPED. I cannot recall off of the top of my head, and I don't know, Ms. Guerrero, if you can jump in and help me, but I do not believe in this type of setting we would bring in the student because it is a parent advisory committee, and it's sensitive topics, and it's information about students and kids, so I'm not sure if that would be a place where we would want to have students involved. But I can go back and double check the guidance because I did share with them, and they are going to follow just like we follow the equity guidance for the Equity Council, the ladies are going to follow the SPED advisory guidance for the committee.
Okay, but I get it that we're going to follow the guidance, but maybe just, in some other platform getting the voice of students because, we don't want to be doing something. They're the ones that are experiencing whatever their experience is. And I know that, most of them do talk to their parents, but if there's a platform where we give them voice, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Moving on to item 15, the upcoming board meetings and events. I do want to remind everybody that we do have the ribbon cutting ceremony for Gadsden on September 24th. Superintendent Tarazona, do we know if Governor Michelle is going to be?
No, actually, we rescheduled it. Mr. Lira, Associate Superintendent Cadena followed her around for 3 weeks and played phone tag. She never replied to the original date, so that's why we went back to September 24th. And as of right now, we do not have conversation. I had a meeting with Secretary Padilla last week, and I asked her to ask, but I still have not heard back.
But we're going to just keep September 24th.
Yes, sir, at this time, yes.
Thank you. And, well, let's go ahead and have a great weekend and our workshop. Thank you, everyone. moving on to our board follow-up request for superintendent based on the specific agenda for this meeting.
Okay, President Lita, I just want to double check at this time. I do not have
I don't think.
anything except the last item that just came up with Ms. Flores. So maybe find another way to give students a voice for when dealing with that SPED population. So that's definitely another platform, but there's some innovative things that we can do even with all of our technology. Maybe having a platform where they could provide their feedback of their experiences to the SPED team. So we'll meet with the team and come up with something. But I'm thinking we could even use AI so it doesn't identify you and you feel you have some type of privacy.
And then just the other request that you probably haven't noted is amending the letter to include Alta Vista, or like the name Alta Vista.
Yeah, we did miss that one. I will have Ms. Mejia. She's adding it right now. I have it in my notes, but we had not put it in there. So we have two then, and amending the letter, the second paragraph.
Thank you. Now, on 17, our adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Okay, I so move.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We are adjourned at 6:25.